This is who these people are. We're exposing their soul. We're getting to the heart of who they actually are. It's not just some manipulation. It's not entrapment. I'm not an agent of the government. I'm just going in as a concerned young citizen of this country, just showing people what goes on behind closed doors.
That was James O'Keefe, about 4 months ago, bragging on the Fox News channel about having secretly filmed employees of the community group Acorn while he pretended to be a pimp of a pretend prostitute. It was sort of an ambush action which earned Mr. O'Keefe the lavish praise of the right-wing media. It even earned him a House resolution, which was authored by Republican Congressman Pete Olson. It was co-sponsored by 31 other congressional Republicans. That resolution described Mr. O'Keefe as, quote, owed a debt of gratitude by the people of the United States. Tonight, that same James O'Keefe is facing federal felony charges for aiding and abetting an attempted wiretap of a Democratic senator, charges that carry up to a $250,000 fine and 10 years in prison. The FBI complaint alleges that Mr. O'Keefe waited in the New Orleans office of Louisiana Senator Mary Landrieu yesterday morning. Mr. O'Keefe allegedly used a cell phone camera in that office to film two of his accomplices. These accomplices were dressed up as telephone repairmen. After those two fake repairmen arrived at the office, according to the complaint, they manipulated the phone system at Senator Landrieu's reception desk, and then they at least tried to do the same thing with the office's main phone system, which was located in another room in the same federal office building. The fake repairmen were Joseph Basil and Robert Flanagan. Mr. Flanagan is, interestingly enough, the son of the acting U.S. attorney in Shreveport, Louisiana. Mr. Basil, Mr. Flanagan, Mr. O'Keefe, and a fourth man named Scott Dye was allegedly waiting in a getaway vehicle with a listening device that could pick up transmissions. That's according to a federal law enforcement official quoted by the Associated Press tonight. Mr. Dye, again, allegedly waiting in that getaway car. Mr. O'Keefe waiting in the senator's office for the fake repairmen, and Mr. Basil and Mr. Flanagan posing as the fake repairmen. All are now charged in a criminal complaint with entering federal property under false pretenses for the purpose of committing a felony. Senator Landrieu late tonight released a statement about this. It said, quote, "This is a very unusual situation and somewhat unsettling for me and my staff. The individuals responsible have been charged with entering federal property under false pretenses for the purposes of committing a felony. I," says the senator, "am as interested as everyone else about their motives and purpose, which I hope will become clear as the investigation moves forward." Now, again, the incident and the arrests took place yesterday. The men have been arraigned in federal court, and a magistrate has set bond at $10,000 each. Mr. O'Keefe, you should know, is already the subject of lawsuits in at least 2 states over his allegedly illegal surreptitious filming of Acorn employees. He is a paid contributor to a right-wing Drudge Report spin-off website. He has also, of course, been a very, 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 very frequent guest on the Fox News channel. Mr. O'Keefe appears to have been in Louisiana as recently as last week in order to give a talk at the Pelican Institute, which is a Louisiana right-wing think tank. The topic of his talk, quote, "Exposing Truth, Undercover Video, New Media and Creativity." Joining him is the author